I know you all want to know, what did Aussie Aaron miss the most while he was away? And you're probably thinking, of course, it's his family or his friends. But in reality, it wasn't. It was good old-fashioned Weet-Bix. Now, whoops. Have a look at that. That box is just missing Aussie Aaron's face. Yeah. It doesn't get any better than this. This is living. Oh yeah. So Australia's favourite export is back. I'm back here down under in Melbourne. Let's have a look around. It's been a while. Things I'm looking forward to, being able to walk on the left side of the footpath, plugging my appliances into power points and having a little on-off switch. That is an underrated component of the electrical circuit. And most of all, being able to run my mouth, and the chances of getting shot are still relatively slim. Let's get into it. How it should be. So I'm here at Carlton Gardens, and what can I say? Well, there's definitely a lack of bench seating, but maybe they got rid of them because of the homeless. Who knows? Or maybe they just never had them. Oh well, let's go check out the rest of Melbourne. There we go, they do exist. Just gotta spread them out, put them in places where people want to sit. Ah, look, I'm getting glimpses of California here in Melbourne. But who's really surprised? Not me. So I'm here at Fitzroy Gardens on my way to the MCG, finally getting some peace and quiet as I can just stroll these parts on the way to the MCG. There's even the odd bench seat. I'm liking it already. Let's see what else we can find. This is much better than the other locations. Better looking gardens, more benches in more prime locations, water fountains. I even saw a park at this place. Not too shabby, not too shabby at all. I'll keep searching. So I've made it here to the iconic MCG. Now, this was a staple of my childhood. Every week when my team played down here in Melbourne, we'd come to the MCG and watch them lose because we sucked. But week in, week out, we showed up, and overall it was a positive experience. And I do recall some of the memories. I mean, in the 90s I remember coming here, especially when we played the Kangaroos and listening to the Kangaroos theme song. We could never beat them, but I do remember walking out of the ground after each of the games and just remembering that theme song. And coming down here to eat the jam-filled donuts, hot donuts. We did that every week, and if our team won, we'd get McDonald's on the way home. But we never won, so we didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, those were the childhood memories here down at the MCG. So behind me is a shame-worn statue. If you ask the fans, I think they prefer Aussie Aaron's statue. His cricket career may have been a lot better than mine, but surely I'm more iconic. People would always ask me, where do I prefer living, Sydney or Melbourne? Now, they both have their positives and negatives. Sydney, better weather. Melbourne, better sporting culture. But all in all, I didn't like living in either location. I didn't have the heart to tell them it's because of the people. That's why. It's sad, but it's true. So I'm here at the Royal Botanic Gardens, and some might say, Aussie Aaron, what's your obsession with all these gardens? Well, it may stem back to my childhood, having to watch the last 15 minutes of Better Homes and Gardens prior to the football. Maybe that's the reason. Or it might be because I typed into Grok and asked it, what should I see if I'm visiting Melbourne City? I guess it's up for debate, but we're here at the pinnacle, the Botanical Gardens. Walking through an Australian forest, supposedly. Fancy that. Interactive. I'm entering Fern Gully. Ooh, look at the ferns. And another bench seat. You just can't fault it. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually see the text on the shrine behind me, but it is a very accurate statement. It is essentially thanking the men and women who served in World War I, who served the great empire. And that is why Australia was involved in World War I, because of its alliances. That's it. That is why people of Australia died. Now, you can question the validity of that, and I sure do. And Australia needs to reflect on its current alliances and what wars they could draw Australia into and what was actually achieved. World War I, that was madness. But Australia really needs to reflect on its current alliances and what wars it could drag young men and women who are ultimately going to be forced. Because if there is another world war, that is what happens. Young men and women are sacrificed. And people need to evaluate whether it is actually worth it. But really, are they ever truly remembered? Now, that is what people need to ponder. Now that's a familiar sign. I do appreciate listening to that iconic sound of crossing the road. Now, don't get me wrong. In the US, I do prefer the countdown, because the issue you have here in Australia is as soon as it starts flashing red, motorists think that they've got right of way, yet they fail to understand that the pedestrian still has right of way to finish crossing the road. I mean, they'll never get it. We'll never get it. But that's life, isn't it? So one of the issues that I had in the US was that every time I plugged an appliance into the wall socket, into a power point, it was always live. I could never isolate it here at the wall socket. Have a look at that. Now that's underrated. Now the one query that I always got living abroad was, how do you deal with all the snakes and spiders? And to be frank, that is how little these people know. It's not the snakes and spiders that you should be worried about. It is the psychotic birds. They swoop you, they try and kill you. You can't get away from them. There's no part of Australia that I've ever been where I've been able to avoid the swooping birds. Whether it's a magpie, whether it's a plover, whether it's an Indian miner, you name a bird, it'll try and kill you. The glass, the parrots, they're all psychotic. And that is what any foreigner coming to Australia should watch out for. It is the true danger. Now, one thing that I found surprising in the US was that for a society that is objectively unsafe, they don't have fences. And yes, a fence is not going to stop everyone, but it is a barrier to your own property. And you can make a fence impenetrable. Razor wire, barbed wire, cameras. The fact that the US, most properties in the US, at least in the area that I was living in, didn't have fences is very surprising. You can't go past a decent fence. Now have a look at this fence. A nice, tall fence. That's hard to beat. Because in the US, without a fence, you can't contain your animals. And the number of times I got attacked by a dog in the US because they didn't enclose their animal in their property and the owner failed in their duties as a dog owner. And to make matters worse, they would always say, "Don't worry, my dog's friendly," as their dog was attacking them. That is another reason why fences are a crucial part of housing infrastructure. As I sit here in this 35-degree heat, it's great to be back. And that's a wrap for another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Until next time, catch you later.